Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. If there is something you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that, 9 of Cups. You're going to be happy. You're going to be really, really happy. You're going to find yourself doing what you love to do. You're going to feel satisfied and fulfilled and blissful, right, in life. And I think that we need to put this into some context, because it's not enough to just say it, right? We have to know kind of what to do, how to push forward, how to overcome challenges, what have been the challenges, right? I think you're going to love this, right? I think the 9 of Cups is, this is us pursuing our happiness, pursuing our goals, feeling confident, feeling satisfied, feeling that there is an abundance in us, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively. Let's see what else we have. We have a 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is kind of a generosity, right? It's almost a card that says we're really sharing in the load here. That we're not living life as if we have to tackle the whole thing by ourselves, right? We've got the Prince of Cups down here. 7 of Swords, yeah, that makes sense. 10 of Swords. But then we've got the adjustment card, right? We've got these swords energies, but then we kind of balance those things out. Maybe we're balancing our expectations. We're balancing this kind of, I don't know, almost there's a feeling of wanting to kind of throw in the towel, or part of our mind that convinces us. See, that's a 10 of Swords. We got 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. The feeling as if we are alone. We do have to shoulder this burden all by ourselves. But then the 10 of Wands reminds us that no, we don't. This is something that we don't have to have the weight of the entire world on our shoulders. 6, look at that, 6 of Cups now. 5 of Pentacles. Some things are changing. Some things need to change in life, right? Princess of Swords. And the Ace of Swords. So I feel like this is, in a large part, this is a mental thing, right? And it's about getting our thoughts in order, getting our thoughts to be unified and confident and pointed at our goal. Nothing else matters but the pursuit of happiness and joy and bliss, right? But we realize that with the pursuit of happiness, yes, that's our purpose. We all want to improve our lives, I think, right? We all want to transcend the circumstances in which we find ourselves currently, no matter how good they are. We're always, I think, looking for progress. We're looking for movement. We want to go forward in some way. We want to improve the quality of life for ourselves, for our loved ones. We want to alleviate suffering for ourselves and for our loved ones. Okay, so that 9 of Cups is really the function. This is the joy, the bliss, the pleasure and satisfaction of living your best life, of putting in your best effort, doing your very best, even when there are challenges, and there are, and there will be, but still doing our very best and seeing the progress. This is a lot of progress in the emotional area. Okay, and I think the emotions and the intellect and the reason are very closely tied together. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is that factor, infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here. We're going to put Mr. Ed, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us our confirmation. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is or you have a hunch, put that prediction down in the comments. We can do it together. We can make it a group exercise. All right. Now let's take a look around. I'm noticing that the only major arcana card we have, of course, is that Libra energy, that justice or adjustment card. Right? Yeah, yep, that's the only one. So what that's really telling me is that this is another one of those situations where we have to balance our thoughts, right? We have to balance our, let's say, our expectations. You know, we talked about this in a previous reading. It might even have been the Cancer reading. I don't quite remember if it was or not. With the adjustment card, it's not about lowering our standards. It's about not expecting every single thing to go our way all the time, right? We have to adjust to the situations of life. We have to also, with this card, we have to network, we have to connect, we have to communicate. This is very balanced communication, right? And I think that this is the difficulty for us, I think, for the Cancer collective is expressing what we need, right? Being open about communicating, connecting with our people, with just generally asking for help, right? 10 of Wands here. We're not good at it. We're not good at asking for help. I think that sometimes Cancers would rather silently suffer, right, than ask for help or to admit that, you know, anybody else was right, you know, and this is something that, you know, we might need a little bit different energy. We might need help. We might need a different approach. We don't want to admit that we were wrong, you know. So I think the 10 of Wands is very important, and I think it bridges these two cards together. The Seven of Swords in the background position. Okay, I don't know if this was a particular incident or if this was just kind of the way things have been going, but I feel like there's a bit of a communication blockage between you and like your people, right? And I see that we're adjusting that, right? We're making those kinds of changes. We look over here. We've got a lot of good water energy. Okay, we've got a little bit of fire in the reading here, but then we've got this water. We've got air, and air. And then, of course, we have a little bit of earth. So it doesn't matter in this case. It doesn't matter what exactly we're doing. As long as we're doing something. As long as we feel as if we're engaged in something that is satisfying, doesn't matter what that thing is. Something that is leading us toward an increase of all these positive qualities we want in life. You know, the happiness, the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment, the feeling as if we are getting closer to our goals, that we are making progress in life, whatever that purpose is, that we're getting there. Okay, slowly is okay, but we're doing something to get there. It doesn't matter really what we're doing in that context. Okay. What matters is how we are talking to ourselves and how we're talking to others, how we're communicating. Okay, and I feel that there is a bit of a blockage here with the communication. I think that you have a deep sense of connection and community. You really feel the love in your heart. Sometimes we don't always express it in a way that is well received by others, I guess. And I feel like we're kind of talking to ourselves in a negative way sometimes too, especially when the environment gets a little bit Five of Pentacles. It gets a little bit wonky out here in the world. Then we start to have we kind of shut down. It's almost like I feel as if you go inside, right? We're that. Now I'm a solar Cancer too. We're that crab, that crustacean kind of energy, where when things get challenging on the outside, or things get busy and hectic and chaotic, maybe in the external world, we tend to go inside. Now that doesn't mean we're retreating or withdrawing from life. No, it means that we are focusing on our own inner light, our own strength to get through this thing, and we may really cut ourselves off from other people. It's not that we withdraw and hide away from challenges. I think that's the problem with the perception of the Cancer energy. The stereotype is that when things get tough, we just right into our shell and we avoid and ignore and we retreat, you know. But that's not it at all. I think that we may not talk as much, you know. We may try to really choose our words very carefully because we're focusing a lot of energy inside. You know, we're activating our strength, our resources, and even our thought process in order to figure out the strategy of moving forward. We don't feel the need to really talk about it a lot, right? So we might go quiet, and people look at that as perhaps us disengaging or retreating from the situation, but I don't feel that is it at all. But I do feel right now with this Seven of Swords that there is a need for us to communicate our needs and our desires and our expectation of other people to help carry some of this burden of this Ten of Wands, right? The Ten of Wands is the idea that we are shouldering the entire world, right? Whatever you're doing right now, it feels like everything is on you. The entire responsibility is yours. So I don't know if this is a work thing, family thing, life in general, right? But it seems to me that there's a... And really these two cards together give us an interesting point to make, right? Nine of Cups, Ten of Wands. Happiness and this kind of responsibility, this burden, right? So in some ways, these two cards are telling us that our happiness, our ongoing, continuous experience of life, it's a verb, right? It's not just a state that we're in, but it's this ongoing interaction with life. Our happiness is our responsibility, right? It's our burden to shoulder. It's the entire weight of our experience is on us, right? And that makes sense. I believe that. Yeah, I think ultimately we're all responsible for our own experience of life. But I feel that we can and should lean on others a little bit, rely on each other, help each other, right? So the Ten of Wands, I think, is perhaps you giving and giving and giving your energy, your light, your vitality, but not being all that willing to accept, help. Someone to come along and say, let me carry half of that. Let me carry some of those groceries, And this is something that I think with this adjustment card, we're starting to realize that it is an exchange with life, So interesting with these cards, right? That we are responsible for our own happiness. At the same time, we can accept, help from other people. We can accept that there is not so much a responsibility or an expectation, but there is a hope, I guess, that if we have the right people around us, they will share in our burdens. They will share not only in carrying some of the weight of life, right? But they'll share in the celebrations as well, right? And so we've got that Six of Cups over here. Things are really changing for the better for you. I honestly believe that. I think that the communication is improving. I think that we're kind of getting out of this black and white thinking, which is part of this Ten of Swords up here, because I feel as if we sometimes could go to this extreme where if something's not working out exactly right, we're just going to throw the whole thing away, right? It's either perfect or it is complete failure, right? So there's no in between. There's really this just extreme of energy here. We just got these extreme tens, right? Luckily, we have the Ace over here, which is kind of showing us the clarity. We have this balance, this harmony, this beauty, this tranquility of the Six of Cups. You're going to love this. I mean, you're going to be very happy. We have to realize, one, that our happiness is our own responsibility and no one else's. also that we need to ask for help, we need to express ourselves, we need to tell the people around us what we need from them, right? Especially your loved ones, right? Your family, your friends, your romantic partners, whatever they are, whoever these people are. It's not, we don't have to go to the extreme of the 10 of Swords, because I feel as if a lot of the time we have a bit of a pessimistic attitude, and it's kind of, too, I think, an expectation that other people can read our minds, but they can't, right? People cannot read our minds. I think we would like them to, because then it alleviates us of the responsibility of having to tell people what we need, But it doesn't work that way. So we've got this 10 of Swords up here that we need to be aware of, right? Because I think that sometimes this really does affect our experience of life, because we look at things as being kind of less than ideal sometimes, and we have these certain, well, maybe we have certain expectations and standards for life, but if we're not communicating them, if we're thinking that everything is either just going to be perfect, or I'm going to be upset that it's not, and I think we've got to do some adjustment with that. I see the Prince of Cups down here at the bottom, and I really like that card, because that's a desire for us to live authentically, to connect with people authentically. This is us kind of being able to communicate our emotions. I think you have a lot of feelings in you. I think that you have a depth and a richness of life. Some people might accuse Cancers of being insensitive, of being the crab, right? Just in a shell, and you don't care about anything. Nothing makes you feel anything, that you're just kind of devoid of emotion, right? But that's not it at all. I think that what we might experience, especially in this case, is just an inability to really communicate that effectively, especially when there's so much going on in your life right now, that we pull back all of our resources, all of our strength and energy, we consolidate it inside so that we can continue doing what we need to do. And so we take energy away from our communication and that sort of thing, our kind of outward, the interface with people. But this is a real desire to connect with people emotionally. This is a real desire for you to be the emotional being that you are, and and allow that energy to be expressed. You do care about a lot of people. You are very sensitive, right? This is kind of a picture of the crab without the shell. Very sensitive, very, very almost too receptive to what other people think and feel, and what's going on with other people. And part of that 10 of Wands too, I think, like I said, it's your kind of generosity of energy. It's the way that you are very sensitive to what other people are experiencing, and so then it's a lot of empathy in you, right? So you might even take on the burdens of other people and make them your own. But is that a block to your own happiness, right? Because as much as we need to kind of share our emotions with others and allow other people to be there, be able to rely on our support system, you're doing that for other people, but it might even be a little too much. It might be even without other people really needing you to do that. I think sometimes we absorb the feelings of others, right? We're so empathic that we just become the emotion of the other person, a lot of the time to our own kind of injury, So I think we're making these little adjustments, just the awareness of this and the focus on our own satisfaction. And with this 9 of Cups, again, you're going to be very happy. We've got to focus on what we are doing, not on what other people are doing. And we've got to focus on the different levels of our being. Are you doing something, many different things, right? Are you doing something that is satisfying, or at least activating these three levels of your being: your physical health, right? Your health and wealth, your fitness, your finances, your mental, emotional well-being, and your spiritual creative energy. Right? Are you doing something that feels satisfying, or that feels at least like it's intentional, and it is leading to some sort of goal or some sort of progress on these three levels of your being? Okay. And I think we need to ask ourselves that, because the Ten of Wands too could be a lot of, we think it's a generosity of energy. We think sometimes we're being very open, and we're doing a lot of things. We're helping a lot of people, and we're exhausted at the end of the day. But where are we putting all of our efforts? Are you putting your effort? Are you using all of your vital energy on things that are leading to your goals, the things that are helping you to feel the abundance, to enjoy your interaction with life, enjoy your living, Or are we putting a lot of energy into things that is doing nothing but depleting us? We have to check for those energy leakages, as much as we have to be aware of our communication blockages. We have to be aware of the energy leakages too, because we might be wasting a lot of energy doing something all by ourselves that really someone around us, there could be this shared effort, right? So we can look at it that way too, that we might be not asking for help and therefore carrying all the groceries ourselves. Well, then we're going to, injure a shoulder or something, right? We're using a lot more effort than we need to for something, okay? So I think that this reading really is in very much, a large part, it's about your relationships, okay? Here's the Six of Cups, this tranquility, this love, this connection, this community. This is the vibe. This is what we want. This is what we're going to get. This is really just a lot of love between you and your people, right? And this is what we need to be able to talk about this and share this and experience this and ask for this. Ask for the harmony, ask for the love, ask for the cooperation on that emotional level. It doesn't just necessarily mean you need someone to help you do the chores, but it's just this being able to share emotionally and be open and express what we need, and maybe to vent a lot of these emotions that we've been absorbing from other people. Here's the Five of Pentacles. A lot has been going on in your life. I think a lot of things have been changing. Maybe there's a lot of stuff going on at work. Maybe the family dynamic is changing a little bit. I don't know if people are coming or going, or if someone's moving, or if there's a lot of things in flux, right? I feel like there's a lot of commotion in life right now, right? So in the midst of all of this commotion, we have to make sure that we strengthen those bonds between ourselves and others. Okay, a lot of things are going on. Yeah, you might even be in the process of moving. Okay, I don't know if you're moving or somebody else is moving in or out. But there's a lot of commotion. Okay, and we see the Princess of Swords here, and I think that this is, in some ways, this is us beginning to communicate again, right? And dealing with the Ten of Swords. And Ten of Swords, again, is this kind of black and white thinking that, things are just almost too much, right? It's almost this overwhelmed feeling. But this is us starting to speak up. And that's the difficult part is just to realize that you do have something to say, that your needs are valid, that your feelings are valid. And we start to talk about them. It's going to get easier as we go, but that first step is the most difficult. And this is that card that's just like kind of defensive, kind of reluctant, not so sure that they feel comfortable talking. But once you get going, it's going to, you're going to be on a roll. And I think that this is the difficulty. And this is the position of the difficulty, just getting started with communicating. And the difficulty is asking for help, right? That's the difficult part. Once you break the ice, so to speak, then it's so much easier after that, right? Things just will start to flow. And I think with the Ace of Swords at the end, that's really a blessing, because I think that is a mind that is not so stressed out. I feel as if whatever changes are going on in your life right now, you feel very sensitive to that. Okay? It's very much affecting you emotionally. You got to start talking about it. Okay? You're holding all of these emotions in because of whatever this commotion is in the environment. It really is affecting you deeply, but you're not talking about it. You're not expressing that in any way, right? So in some ways, this Ten of Wands is all of this emotional energy being held in, right? But I think that there is clarity coming, there is happiness coming, there is love, there is, tranquility, blessings, cooperation, community. The Six of Cups really is that support system. This is everybody in your life kind of, that we're all just a big group hug, It's really, really nice. The Ace of Swords is that clarity, is that peace of mind. We're not feeling so stressed out. We're not feeling burdened. It feels like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders, right? Ten of Wands. This is really stunning. I like this. I want to do one thing before we look at the mystery card, and this is the Metatron Oracle. See if this relates to our reading in any way. Let's find out. Green, heart healing. I like that. I like that a lot. Beautiful color. And it's green, it's heart healing, right? Heart healing. And I think that's really what's going on here. It's not not so much that we're healing from an injury or anything specific, but we want to focus on that emotional health. But in order to do that, we've got to talk about it. We've got to ask for help. We've got to be able to express those emotions, right? And I think it really has to do with whatever this Five of Pentacles is. This is the only earth energy that we have today. So there's a lot of changes going on in the external world, in the environment. We've got to feel how we feel about those, and we've got to be able to talk about it to someone, somewhere. We've got to be able to acknowledge these feelings and express them in a healthy way. So we need that heart healing. Let's look at this mystery card. Well, I would hope that it is, an Ace of Cups would be perfect. I think maybe another Ace of Swords. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what we need. Maybe we need, what we need is your power card. We need the Chariot, or we need the Empress, or we need the Fool even, right? If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Here we go. Five of Cups. Well, we're getting somewhere. Because now we're able to see why we feel the way we feel. And I think we feel the way we feel because there's a lot of commotion going on in your environment. And the 5, now it's 5 and 5, right? It matches up. And we can see that, and we know that. Now we're acknowledging I feel how I feel lately because things are changing so much around me. Because there is so much going on, right? And maybe things are leaving. Maybe things are changing in a way that you don't like because things you love are going a different direction or something like that, right? This is really the acknowledgement of that. We recognize that. We're not trying to deny our feelings or push them away or ignore them or avoid them, right? We're trying to confront them. We're trying to look at them as this figure is doing. But then also to be able to then not only see the negative emotions and the pain and the trouble and, those things that we don't like, but to be able to look around and realize that we've got our people with us, that we've got a support system, that we have tranquility and joy and bliss and love all around us. So we have to acknowledge our emotions. We have to acknowledge how we feel and realize why we feel these negative emotions, so-called negative emotions. But then realize too that those negative emotions are not all there is. See, there's the Two of Cups right behind you. That love, right? Two of Cups, love. So we might be experiencing a little bit of sorrow or disappointment that something we love or something we enjoyed is changing or leaving or is over. But realize that there's still a lot of love in our lives. And I think just this internally, just in a mental way, acknowledging this, thinking about this is going to really help. And then, of course, communicating to our people, to expressing this in some way, to our friends, our family, our loved ones, or to a professional even. I mean, sometimes the Libra energy here can be just that. This can be that professional that can help us put things in perspective, right? Help us see things in proportion. Yeah. So I think this is very good. I think you are going to be very, very happy. All right. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up here. There's one down below. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.